Mr. Watson here, talking today about using the quick mask for putting a mask on images. And in our case, we are going to take a color image and desaturate some of the portions of the image and leave a couple things in color. To begin, we are going to open a document. So find the document you're going to open. In this case, we're going to take a picture of me with a backpack. Open your document, and you should have your color image in front of you. Things to pay attention to are our layers, our toolbox over on the left, and our history tool here. If neither of these, either your layer, your history tool, or your toolbox are not open, go to the window drop-down box and make sure you have those selected. So at this point, we're going to do our first changes, which we would rotate, which we don't need to do, but we are going to make some adjustments to our levels and curves. So find your adjustment window, which we don't have, so we're going to turn that on, and we'll do our levels first, and it looks pretty good overall. We're going to brighten it up, move the white to where the up and down begins. I'm going to add a little bit more dark in here, just because I like that tone, and give a little better skin tone on that big bald head. And also my curves adjustment, 2 marks in the upper and lower. Going to see what we do. We're going to brighten up the face a little bit, bring down the darkness a little bit as well, and we're going to leave those at that point. We do our 2 changes. Now we have 3 layers. For this to work properly, we need to take the layers and we need to squeeze them together. So there's a couple different ways to do that. One is to click on any of your layers, and we are going to merge the visible layers. So you merge the visible layers together, and now your changes are there, but it's in all one layer at this point. Another method to do, if you were to go back and do that, is to go to the layer drop-down menu and click Merge Visible. There's also a keyboard shortcut there, Shift-Control-E. Merge the visible, and we're down to just 1 layer. Now for this to work properly, we need to have a second layer added of the same part of our image. So we're going to duplicate that layer and make the top layer our color layer. So if we right-click on the background and we choose Duplicate Layer, and we're going to give this a name. Always name your layers when you're working with them, and call this Color Layer. Select OK, and now we have 2 layers, our color layer and our background layer. We are going to take one of our layers, and in this case the background layer, make sure it's highlighted, meaning selected, and we are going to desaturate that layer. To do that, if you go to Image, Adjustments, and Desaturate, you can see in the little thumbnail picture down in the lower right that it has taken that picture and desaturated it. To check to make sure your background layer is desaturated, you can turn the eyeball off the color layer and shows you our desaturated image. Now in this case, all the color is out, but we could use a little bit more contrast in it. So making sure you have the background layer selected, go to Image, Adjustments, and we're going to work with the levels just on that layer for a moment. We're going to bring the brightness up a little bit and the darkness down and choose OK. So we made a change just to that 1 layer because it was highlighted. Now make sure and go back to your color layer, turn the eyeball on, and you can see our color again. On the color layer, the one that's on top is where we're going to add our layer mask. To do that, go down to the lower line of your layers window and find this rectangle with the circle in the middle, and we're going to add that layer mask to our color layer, and you get this white box. This white box is actually the mask. For the layer mask to work, wherever you see the white, that means the mask is active. If you want to disable the mask, you need to paint a different color. And in our case, that color is black. white for mask and black to remove the mask. And you can see here in our color swatches, it has already set a black color and a white color for us. So if the mask is there with the white color, to remove the mask, we want to paint black. So make sure you have the black chosen here in your swatch. And if black is the background and white's the foreground, you just choose this arrow just to the upper right of it, and it will switch the colors back and forth. So we're going to make her choose the black color, and we're going to select a brush, not the color replacement tool, but the brush. And we're going to adjust the size. We want to leave the edge of our hardness to our brush about 85%, 80 to 85%. And we're going to increase our size a little bit. We can also increase our size by using the bracket keys. The bracket to the right makes our brush bigger, bracket to the left makes it smaller. And what we're going to do at this point is remove the background, the color of the background. To do that, we just paint with the brush we just have, and if we run up and down a little bit and then let go of your mouse, you can see that where we painted black has become transparent. We can see the black of the background. To see how the transparency works, if we turn off the background layer, you can see this checkerboard pattern where the mask is missing. And wherever in Photoshop, wherever you see a checkerboard pattern, that means that part of the layer is transparent. We're going to turn our color, so you can paint your mask either with the background on or off. In this case, I'm going to keep going with the background off so you can see what I'm doing. One of the nice things about the layer mask is if you're doing larger areas, if you want to make it go quicker, you make your brush bigger and away you go. Now also, to get in closer, if you Control plus, zoom in, press the space bar to move yourself around a little bit. We're going to give ourselves a smaller brush. We're going to come in those edges. Now, I got a little too far there, didn't I? I chopped part of the face. That is not something we want to do. To undo that, you have a couple of options. One, you could go to your brush tool in the history and just remove it, or this is an even better way. Let's take a modification here, and if we come back here and start painting our black, and we take too big a swatch, because we painted black to remove the layer, if we swap our colors and we paint white, our mask comes back. That is a way for us to do it very quickly. And you can see here, we're putting all of that color back just by painting the white. So if you make a mistake, it's easy to correct. I am going to do one change in that instead of just the whole body, we are going to go back and we are going to leave just the Watson head in color. So to go quickly through this, we cut those off, we zoom in to make our changes, spacebar to move around. We're going to make our brush smaller and come and clean up some of these areas. Now this is rough. You yourself will want to spend more time on this to get a good looking image, because like all images, quality does count. Coming in here, moving fairly quickly. Gonna have some trouble with not the hair. Okay, come on down. Finish all the way around the head. Just take the skin there, even the shadow. I'm gonna take off. Took a little bit too much of that down here. So we're going to add that back in and then clean it up with the black again. And get the area around the chin, around the cheek a little bit. So you can see the face there. That's what's left of the color when you turn the background back on. Now you can see the rest is black and white. From this point, whenever we save something, because you have layers, we want to save as, give it a new name. And because we have layers, we want to save it as a TIFF or a PSD. And we're going to call this color or layer mask. Okay, so you save as your PSD, which saves your layers. Then, to upload it to the online course or to the internet, we have to save as, I'll wait for it to finish, then we have to save as a JPEG. Okay, it's already changing that name at the end. I'll make sure it says format and .jpg at the end of the file name. Choose save, and because we're going to upload it to the online course, make sure your size is under 5 megabytes and you're in good shape. And if you need to change that, you can take your image options under quality and use the slider or enter a number to make it smaller. In this case, if we move it down to 10, it makes it 1 megabyte. That's fully within our window. Click OK, and it's saved. And then you upload your JPEG to the online course. And that is how we use the Quick Mask.